I've just finished a yoga class here at my Busselton, Western Australia yoga studio, and I've had a group of ladies who are leaving the class now. They might come and say, don't do it, but what we just worked on, and I've recorded it so you can work on it too. On strength around our hips, our glutes, and also our lower back, which is important for balance and bone density and slowing down aging. Hope you can do it too. It's a whole hour and it's a really good class. Does anybody want to tell me how they enjoyed the class? You just
Loved it, always. Been
really
doing
good.
it for...
Should the people at home over in America do it?
Oh, everyone should do it. Everyone.
It was fantastic, thank you.
It was unbelievable.
Oh no, it wasn't unbelievable. Invigorating. Yeah, that's an exaggeration, unbelievable, but... Sore hip or sore knee, sore foot or hip, go gently. Yeah, if you want it to be harder, grab a resistance band. Otherwise, I'll do it without, I think I'll do it without resistance bands. Okay, so start off standing down into your feet, feeling your feet grounded and aligned, feeling into your hip joints, feeling into your spine, and just be more connected in your body. And tell your hips you're going to do a bit of work on them because you want them to be strong, you want good balance, you want good bone density, and we want them to be strong. But we're also going to do some stretches as well. So first, oiling up or warming up around our hip joints before we do some contracting. So start off feet a bit wider than hip width, bend your knees a bit, and then circle your hips one way. Toothpaste, think. Oh, God damn it. I just brushed my teeth. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to have to do the introduction again. That's not a good look. Okay. So both directions. Makes it funnier though. Still. Both directions for this one. Okay. And then, you've got good eyes. If you need the wall, have your left hand on the wall, circle your right hip one way. You can try in the middle of the room and work on your balance. And then the other direction. And then left hip, circle one way. If you want, have your right hand on the wall. And then the other direction. Hi, Anne. And then right hip, so you might have your right hand on the wall, swing your right leg, squeeze your belly. You might just stay in the middle of the room. Don't look down, look straight ahead. Lift your chest, squeeze your standing knee. And then back, other side. So swinging your left leg. Okay, you're on camera. Okay, and then abduction and adduction. So you might want the wall, right leg, abduct, adduct. You could try the middle of the room. And then left hip, abduct, adduct, left leg. Hands on the wall works quite well. Squeeze your standing knee. Okay, and then back to the first one. Just circle your hips one way. The first one we did like this. And then And circle your hips the other way. Okay, and then one more for bone density. Squeeze your pelvic floor, a little jump, or bigger jumps, or even hops if you know it's okay for your knees. And that will obviously put more weight through one leg. And then the other leg, or just whatever you're doing, jumping or hopping for bone density, a stimulus through the bones into the spine. Okay, back to standing, alignment through your feet. And so we're going to be working a lot on these glute maximus muscles here and glute medius and minimus, the abductor muscles here, because where the thigh bone, the neck of the femur goes into the socket, that's where people break their hip. So when we work on these muscles, we're working on bone density as well as stability around a hip. So having good balance, very important work. So if you want to make it harder, put a resistance band like this just below your knees. Otherwise, I'm going to do it without resistance bands, so you can make it harder if you want, just below your knees. Okay, and then put your left hand on the wall. So left arm on the wall. And then step out about 1 foot away from the wall. Okay, and then push the palms of the hands together. Bend your knees, inhale. And then exhale, pull your arms back, lean to the left and lift your right leg up or push it into the band. And then back to inhale. And if you go close to the wall, it's easier. And then exhale. If you go further away from the wall, it's harder on the left hip. So that's 2. Let's do 8. Inhale, bend the knees, contract the chest. Exhale, squeeze shoulder blades, squeeze into your outer hips. Pushing into the band if you're doing that one. So keep going. Inhale, somebody count. Exhale. What's that? 4? Yeah, 4. Do 4 more of that one. That's good. Yeah, try to count. I find it hard. 2. 8, hold. 10, push. 9, take your hand off the wall as harder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just rub around your hips, circle your hips, rub your hips. And then turn your body around. So you can go close to the wall is easier, further away from the wall is harder. Palms of the hands push together. Inhale, bend the knees, push the palms of the hands together. And then exhale, lean and push into the band or just lift your left leg up. So find your rhythm there, count 8 if possible. Inhale, try to count. Focus, exhale. Try to lean to the side. Yep. You can make it harder pushing onto the band, but still lifting your leg up and leaning is still hard without the band. Yeah, let's hold. Let's hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Take the band off for the next exercise if you're using a band. Okay, and then we're going to put the hands on the wall. This is for our lower back and our glute maximus. our back muscles. So feet touching, hands on the wall, hips over heels. Squeeze your belly. Inhale, lift your right leg up. And then put your feet back together. Put your foot back down. Not alternating. Repeat on the right leg. Exhale, lift the right leg, squeeze the belly and the glutes, and then put it back down. Inhale. So we're doing 8, that's 2. So I'm going to check you're not twisting your hips. I want you to try to keep your hips level, hip bones level, because that works your back a little bit more. And your core, yeah, good. Squeeze like you have a tight zip. Very good for strengthening your back. Of course, if you want to make it harder, you could try taking hands off the wall. Oh, that makes it harder. Try not to twist though. Anyone counting 8?
8. That was 8.
Okay. Hold the right leg up. Try to take the hands off the wall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Stand up, circle your hips one way, rub around your lower back. Circle your hips the other way. Okay, back to strengthening our back. Hands quite high, hips over heels. Switch on your core, squeeze your belly. Inhale, exhale, lift your left leg. And then put the foot back down. Inhale and then exhale, lift, squeeze the glutes, and then put the foot back down. Inhale, so see if you can count 8. Squeeze your belly, squeeze your left glutes. Try to keep your hip bones level, so not twisting. Good, good. And don't fling, lift, push like you're pushing through honey.
Then 8.
Okay, now hold 10 or 5, sorry, just 5 counts. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Come back to your yoga mat. Rub your lower back. Circle your hips one way. Circle your hips the other way. If you want to make the next one harder, put the band above your knees. And if you don't know clam, have a look at clam. Lie on your left side, open and close the clam like that. Open and close. So you can make it harder with the band above your knees for this one if you want. And you work your outer hip muscles more. So left side down. Just keep your feet together. And really don't be too focused on the numbers so much. It's just more about pushing it till your muscles start really fatiguing. So yeah, don't focus too much on counting for this one. Just feeling into that. Yeah, I mean in the class it's practical because you know that you can push it more if you know we've only got 2 left. But really at home when you're doing exercises, you just push it till your muscles say that's enough. If you really want to make this one more vigorous and challenging, you could also lift up your hips. So you could put your left elbow down, and it's just an option to finish if you want to make it harder. So you can do that if you want. So then you're doing your left hip, your left shoulder, and your right hip pushing into the band, and your left waist as well. That's just an option. So do about 5 more pushing into the band, either in the side plank or not in the side plank. Could you all feel the muscles in the outer hip? Okay, well let's do the other side now. So roll over onto your other side. So right side down, pushing into the band, or if you're not doing the band, just open the clam and close the clam. Don't let your top hip roll back, and try to feel the muscles in the outer hip. A lot of people have one hip weaker, and actually you don't need the bone density test. You'll know you'll have lower bone density there if it's weaker on that side. So you might do extra on one side, but in class we'll just do a bit of pretty even. And if you really want a more challenging one, if you lift up onto your, if you lift your hips up like I am, that's just an option for the harder one if you want, because that works the right hip and the left hip and the right shoulder and the right waist. It's an option. Do about 4 more. Okay, good. Okay, the next one, take the band off if you've got the band on. Come to all fours. Circle your hips one way. And then the other way. And then we're going to strengthen into our lower back, our glute maximus, and our shoulders and our core. So inhale, all fours. Exhale, lift opposite hand to foot. Right leg, left arm. And then inhale, all fours. Now we're not alternating. We're repeating that same side. Exhale, right leg, left arm. And then inhale. That's 2. Exhale, lift. 3. Inhale. Got 8. Got 4. This is 4. 5. Squeeze your belly. 6. Anyway, some of you are going a bit faster than others, but roughly do 8. And then is that 8 now? Hold. Hold that side. Squeeze the belly and the glutes. 10 shoulder blades. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can go straight to the other side. Exhale, lift left leg, right arm. And then all fours, inhale. Exhale, keep squeezing your belly and your glutes and your shoulder blades. Somebody try to count 8. Don't go too fast. Keep squeezing your belly.
This is the 8th one, I think.
Okay, holding now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if it's okay for your knees, rest back to a kneeling, a child's pose. If you can't kneel, just lie on your back, hug your knees in, that's fine. Okay, we're going to lie on our back, and if you want it to be harder, put a resistance band around your ankles. So I'll show you what you do if you're using a resistance band. This is what it will look like. Exhale, lift the right leg. Inhale, lower. And we're going to alternate. We're not doing one and then exhale, lift the left leg. But see, if you're not using the band, Exhale, lift the right leg, lower it down, inhale. Exhale. So either way, you're using these muscles to do it. So pushing into the band can make it harder, but just lifting your leg. Your leg's heavy, so you can choose. So lying on your back, inhale, squeeze your belly, and then exhale, lift up your right leg or push into the band, and then lower down, inhale. Just alternating, exhale, just finding your own rhythm with that one. Squeezing your belly and just gently strengthening, toning the muscles in the front of the body, engaging those muscles. If you had one leg that was weaker, of course, you would maybe do 2 on the weaker leg, 2 pushes, and just do 1 push on the stronger leg. So slowly build out your strength. Maybe you've had a knee injury on one leg, so you just haven't been using that leg, or you had a sore hip, so you just haven't been actually doing as much on that leg. So the muscles got a bit weaker, the bone density, after injuries, if you don't do as much. So you might need to work a bit harder. If you need a break, just have a break. No one minds. You don't have to keep going if you've got a sore back, or if you feel like that's enough for your hips today. Don't worry, the camera's off you if you want to have a rest. Don't feel because the camera's on you that you have to do more than you normally. Your back is more important. I don't think anybody's going to go recognising you, and if they did, who cares anyway? Okay, not many people that watch my videos, that's okay. Okay, so we're finishing up 10, 9, maybe do 2 on each side, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees in when you're finished. And then we're doing 1 hold, which is a variation of boat pose for abdominal core. So I'll show you easier. That's the one I'm doing like that. That's light weights. Harder is, see, like that, straight, and then harder is your head up as well. And we'll hold for 20 counts. So holding that pose, whichever variation you're working on, doesn't really matter. As long as it's hard enough for you, you'll get a health benefit into your bones, into your brain. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees in. A few deep breaths, just trying to relax the hip flexors. They're about to get a bit of a stretch. And we're doing 1 more for lower back and glutes and optional resistance band. So if you want, put the resistance band above your knees. If you don't know bridge, have a look at me first. So bridge, and you can push your knees out, and if you've got the band, that would be harder. And then bring your knees back and then come back down. So inhale, so in bridge, inhale. And then exhale, lift your hips up, push out your knees onto the band if you have one. And then back, knees pull back, just not pushing, and then come down. So you inhale at the bottom. So you exhale, lift, push your knees out, release your knees back and come back down. And if you want it to be harder, don't come down. Just stay up and push and release. Push your knees out. So squeeze your outer hip muscles, your abductors. Have feet a bit wider, Kathy. Yep. Keep pushing down through your feet. If your legs are already a bit sort of bowed-legged, then finish up. If you know you're a bit bow-legged, take the band off, put a block in between your knees and hold bridge to finish. If you're a bit more knock-kneed, push out to the band a bit harder. Otherwise, just finish holding bridge. So you're either holding a block if you're a bit more bow-legged, or you're pushing out in the band if you're a bit more knock-kneed, or you're just holding the bridge, just normal bridge, not pushing or holding anything. 10, 9, squeeze the lower ribs in, push the tailbone away, posterior tilt, 3, 2, 1, and come down vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly down out of the bridge pose. And then when you're finished, hugging your knees in, a few deep belly breaths. And then windscreen wiper with your arms doing 90-90 internal and external rotation. So if you're not familiar with that, have a look first, but I think most of you are. And really work on that top knee pushing down towards the opposite foot to get that outer hip release. So don't focus on the turning out knee, focus on the turning in knee. If you're pushing hard into the resistance band. But if you're holding the block, you might push out more, twist more. Okay, finishing up, balancing out side to side here, and then hugging your knees back in for a few deep breaths. And then either roll to the right side and coming into cat-cow, or rock up to sitting, or a squat and coming down to all fours. Okay, so we're going to do normal cat-cow. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, look at your belly button. Okay, now bring your hands a bit forward from the all fours. And then sort of bring your weight, sort of come forward a bit, tuck your toes. Do a micro bend in your elbows, so mini yoga push up, elbows in. And then a gentle up dog like that. So you look forward, or you might look up. And then tuck your toes under, down dog. And then put your knees down, inhale. Bend your elbows a little bit, exhale, a little yoga push up. A little back bend, a little up dog, inhale. And down dog, exhale. But if you want to make it harder, do it once more. You do the plank pose, inhale. A full yoga push up if your shoulders don't mind. And then up dog with your knees off the floor, that's harder, and down dog. But it's gentle, it's meant to be gentle yoga, so you don't need to do harder. Then we're going to step or jump feet to the hands. We'll roll up, spinal roll. Firm your core, zipping up. Head's the last thing, releasing up the back of the spine. The bridge pose muscles, the back muscles that we've worked hard in some of those exercises that we did. Especially when we did this, we're working our lower back. And then when we do this, we're lengthening out our lower back. Okay, so we're going to work on balance, which is still working on glutes. So this one, I'll show you easier and harder. So easier would be, we did it earlier, but don't be too close to the wall, so you can take your hand off the wall. So that's a variation of half mode, but it's easier on your hips to be doing it like I am, like that. But some of you who are more flexible, then you can do it like this, which is a bit harder. If you're a bit more flexible, you might harder like that, but you actually need the flexibility in the inner thighs to do the harder one. So you might be strong, but it's also a flexibility thing. So maybe have your left hand not too close to the wall, step away a bit, or maybe you're using a block. So inhale, and then exhale, you bring your right leg up, and just holding for 20 counts. So it's called Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Yeah, it doesn't matter which side, so don't worry too much. Let's see, try your hand off the wall. 4, make your muscles work, make your bones work harder. 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower out of the pose, and then just turn your body around. And you should be facing a different direction now. So the other leg's in the air. Not editing that one out, Norma. Just keep breathing, trying to challenge your balance. Maybe try to take the hand off the wall or the block for a bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we've got another balance pose, which is actually going to work the inner thighs and stretch the outer hip a bit more. So there's easier and harder. So it's right knee on top. I'll show you easier. I'm putting my right knee over my left, and see I've got that block. Got my right foot on the block. That's easier. Harder is your foot is off the floor. So if you want it to be easier, put your right foot on the block, and you're still working your muscle. You take the foot off the block, a bit harder. Okay, and let's go right knee on top. Let's go right elbow on the bottom. So work on shoulder flexibility as well. This full eagle pose. Final exhalation. And then straighten out your elbows and your knees. Squeeze the muscles around your knees. You can have the foot on the floor or off the floor. Okay, good. So if you want to make it easier, you can have a block next to your right foot, and it makes it a bit easier. So you're putting your left knee on top, and if you can, that's easy. Or you have the foot off the floor, it's harder. And we'll have a left elbow on the bottom. So you're working on your shoulder blade, shoulder flexibility at the back, and your out hip flexibility and your balance. And your calf muscle flexibility, your Achilles tendon. If you're not very good at it, you only get more benefits. Final exhalation. Then straighten out, squeeze around your knees, have the foot on or off the floor, and your elbows. Okay, and then back to the standing. Come to the front of your yoga mat. Exhale. If you feel very, very bendy, you could have feet together. Otherwise, I'm having mine a good hip width. Lifting out of the lower spine, reaching up. Inhale, and then coming forward slowly. Some of you bend your knees so you don't overstretch. Take about 5 breaths in and out. Trying to relax forward. One more breath in and out. And then sitting on your bottom, come down however's safe for you. And I'll show you this one. So easier, is no block. Soles of the feet together, knees out. A bit stronger. Put a block behind your sacrum, or low down on your spine. And you might put the block on its side to get a bit more lift, and you might have your arms up a bit too. So we're going to hold this for about 2 minutes, and that's going to be a nice release for our groins, our belly, and our outer hip slack going into soft, softening the outer hip, not contracting, not stretching, just softening. And just let me know if it doesn't feel right. You might want a bolster rather than the block, if the block is digging in or something, and it should be down on the sacrum, not in the lumbar, not in the inward curve in the lower back, in the fused part on the lower spine. And as you hold this, just focus on breathing in, breathing out. Your body just breathing naturally in and out. See if you can relax your face more, and your jaw and your tongue and your throat. If it starts to feel like an overstretch, just bring your knees together. So any twinging, kind of burning, tingling, that's not good.
What about aching?
Aching?
Can we accept that?
Where's it aching? A stretch, I wouldn't call a stretch an ache. Feeling a stretch, feeling an opening, feeling a release, that's what you want to feel. Let's just do half a minute longer here. No one cares if you come out earlier and bring your knees together. Okay, put the feet down, take the block out if you have the block there, hug your knees in. And then straighten out your left leg and hug your right knee in. And then bring your right knee over towards the left side. And then reaching to the right and looking towards the right hand, the right thumb. So try and get your right ear closer to the floor, which is opening out the left side of the neck. And try and get your right knee closer to the floor, which is opening the outer right hip, and your right shoulder blade down, opening out the front of the right shoulder and chest. So a few nice opening here, or releasing, so no burning or tingling or aching. I don't know about aching. Just accepting a few aches and pains, because you're lucky to get older. And some people would die for another year with a sore hip. The people who die younger. And a few more breaths there, so you can get a little bit more release when we hold the stretch for a bit longer. And then final exhalation, next exhalation. And then centering up, hug that right knee in again. Just relaxing the lower back after the twist. Just softening it, flexing it. And then swapping to hug in your left knee for a few breaths. Starting there. And And then bring your left knee over towards the right side and look towards the left. Reach to the left, look towards the left thumb, opening the right side of the neck when you look to the left. The left outer hip when you bring the knee across to the right. Left shoulder blade down, opening the front of the left shoulder. So feeling the pose, feeling what's happening in your body. And the lower back is slightly twisting and stretching as well. The left waist, left lower back. So if you get the right place, it's the maximum benefit. So your edge, the Goldilocks principle. It's not too easy, it's not too hard, not too soft, not too hard, not too cold, not too hot. It's just right. The stretch is just right. Final few breaths, see if you can get a little bit more release. Final exhalation. And then centering up and just hugging in your left knee. Okay, so the next one, if you're a bit maybe less flexible in your hips, see this? I've got my left foot on the wall and my right foot up in the glute abductor stretch there. If you're a bit more flexible, you could do pigeon. I'm going to do this one. This is my favourite, so right foot in front. So if you're a bit more flexible, we might do that one, right foot in front. And head on something is nice. You don't have to worry too much about forcing anything though. So there's two options, or pigeon, but I'm not going to demonstrate. I'm just going to give you two options, but if you know pigeon, you could do that. So it's a longer hold. So just settle into that pose. And as you hold the stretch, practice belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, yoga breathing, meditative breathing. Natural anti-anxiety medication, which is what we all need in this world we live in. And just slowing down and holding a stretch. Just a few more deep breaths, see if you can get that little bit more release. If you're sitting, grip your core to lift out of the pose. You can either go back to downward dog if you're in pigeon. You can just straighten out your legs at the wall. Just straighten out your legs, downward dog, legs up the wall, sitting on your bottom. And then swap to the left foot on top, or the left knee forward, or the left foot in front, and holding on the other side. Try not to let the mind wander. Try to keep your attention, keep your focus on your body right now and your breath. And when you exhale, trying to get a bit more release into the tight areas. if you have some aches and pains, just be happy, be grateful for your arthritis, be grateful for your wrinkles, just be grateful for every day that you're still healthy. Obviously, we can try to tweak our diet. There's things we can try to do, and keep getting massage and stretching and relaxing. Fine off your breath there. Anti-inflammatories. When you're in a relaxed state, it's natural anti-inflammatories. Slowly coming out of that one. And find a wall, or if you like, you can be in the middle of the room, putting your legs up for a few minutes. Bolster or block works well too, so you can get a bit more lift. This is particularly good if it's the end of the day. Here it's middle of the morning, late morning. It's still quite a good time. It's a little bit of a plug-in. You don't need it as much in the morning. I don't know, maybe you've been up since 5 and you've done housework and gardening and gone for a walk and, and then you've done yoga. Just a quick rejuvenate. Just keep trying to hold your attention on your body and your body breathing in and out naturally. So yeah, we're going to be practicing some deep breathing after this. So just a few more natural breaths here. Conscious breathing. Okay, you might like to sit against the wall for a few minutes and then lie down. But if you like, you could lie down now and stay there for the whole rest of the class, about 12 more minutes to go. But you might sit. You're a bit more alert sitting, but you could lie down and do the deep breathing. We're just practicing slow, deep breathing. So it's not complicated, but it's still challenging. It's challenging to practice slow, deep breathing. And if we don't practice it, then you're breathing like anything else, it gets stiffer as we get older, and we don't want it to. So we're working on it because we value slowing down aging and slowing down, preventing disease, being proactive with our health. We want to try to avoid being reactive, like waiting till I've got lung issues. So just practicing breathing in as slowly, quietly, steadily, deeply as you can, which is quite hard. Controlling it in through the nose. Got to really relax your belly when you inhale. Expand your chest. Right up to the collarbones. Don't tense into your neck. And then you've got to match it on the exhale. So if you breathe into for 6, you've got to breathe out for 6. If you breathe in for 20, you've got to breathe out for 20. And you've got to use your abdominals on the exhale. So you're actually using muscles, practicing deep breathing, as well as your mind muscle. Your mind is focused. Your abdominal muscles, your diaphragm muscle, your intercostal muscles, your pelvic floor at the end of the exhalation. Just do one last deep, deep, slow, slow breath in and out. When you're finished, if you feel like sitting for a bit longer, that's fine, or else lie down to fully relax. If your back's a bit sore, something under your knees, anybody need anything? Palms up, try to have palms, the hands facing up. Try to get your neck into alignment so your head's not off to the side and you don't feel like your neck's arched. So you might need something under your head. So just take your time, alignment in the pose. And then sink down and try to be still for the next 8 or 9 minutes. Try not to fidget or move if possible, settling into the stillness of this pose after doing quite a lot of work around your hips and your lower back area today. Not much on the shoulders, no planks today. But feeling your hip, glutes, thighs, lower back area, belly, your core and your glutes area, the center, and feel the muscles resting feel the muscles falling away from the bone around your hips. Put your awareness there, put your natural breath there. You might feel you have increased the blood flow and the synovial fluid in the area, the lubrication, or the yogis say the prana, the youthful, vital energy around the hips. So the exercises, they're not a miracle. It's not like you're going to make your hips like when they were 20, when you're a 25-year-old, but they will help to slow down aging. So when you're 90, you might have hips like an 80-year-old. So it's still old hips. But if you're 90 and your hips are like pretty good for an 80-year-old, that would be good. You've okay balance, good mobility, okay flexibility, decent blood flow. Bone density is huge. So the work you've done will help with your balance, with your bone density, with your flexibility, your mobility. Just feel your belly nice and soft. Feel your diaphragm muscle moving, your belly moving with your natural breath in and out. Notice like you've never noticed that. You're a child, like a beginner's mind. You're just noticing that. Feeling your rib cage, your chest cavity, just feeling your natural breath in your lungs, in your ribs. Feel the space where your heart is. And the yoga is good for the physical heart, the strengthening exercises and the relaxation exercises, and your emotional heart. I think the yoga is so good for that. Just more open to love and joy and peace. And awareness up into your throat, relaxed around your neck and your face, a bit softer. Eyeballs a bit heavier and steadier. Try to steady eyeballs. And then feeling into your brain. And you can sense actually there's more blood flow to the brain. And then really feeling your brain and your spinal cord, your central nervous system, feeling that energy. And then scan out through your periphery, through your whole body to the fingertips and the toes, and the trillions of cells from the bones to the skin. And then also awareness to the energy field around you. And it's not woo-woo, it's science. You have a vibrational field around you and through you, and your prana, your energy. And the yogis say that the yoga practice increases their vibration, their vibrational frequency. So sensing what the yogis are talking about. So you feel more positive, you feel your energy is higher, love, joy, peace, great gratitude, positivity. Okay, wriggle toes and fingers. When you're ready, bring your knees in and rolling over to your right side, which is easiest for your back. And sitting up when you're ready. I hope your hips feel okay tomorrow, and yeah, feel strong but also free.